And we're back. Peg City Soundoff on a Wednesday night. Wednesday, the 19th, with special guest host Ruth Morris by popular demand today. Awesome. Tonight, episode brought to you by Frozen Fire Studios. It's so weird to say that I actually have sponsors now. Frozen Fire Studios sponsored the entire month of March. 2 more shows to go. But our guest tonight, the Murder Birds. All 4 of them. The entire murder of birds. Let's kick it off like we always do. Let's get an intro. Who are you? What do you do? How long has the band been together?
Slow it down. 1 minute. I guess I don't know. I guess we can do just a round of introductions, starting with Brett.
I'm Brett.
I'm Paul.
I'm Marty.
I'm Dave.
We're the Murder Birds. I guess this year is basically our 10th year anniversary. So we've been around for about 10 years. We are a punk cover band, and yeah, there you have it. Well, we'll see you next week, folks. On next week's show.
There is no show next week. There's Thomas Henry. See, this is what happens. We got a chat that pops up. Thomas Henry saying hi to everyone.
Hi, Thomas.
Thomas.
The Murder Birds, punk cover band from Winnipeg with the coolest jam space. I was there once and I felt like a fool, and I think I asked the question, "Oh, cool posters," but they were all your shows.
One wall there was a lot of my former band, the Stiff Bishops. There's a lot of Stiff Bishops posters there. And I think there was even some Puddlefish shows up there. But yeah, all the walls are covered with shows that certainly I've been involved in. But yeah, a lot of those are Murder Birds posters for sure.
Excellent. So let's talk about the Murder Birds, punk cover band. Why a punk cover band? What got you guys to get together and be a punk cover band?
It was back when Paul was still with the Stiff Bishops. I just moved to town. As a drummer, I'm looking. I'm new to Winnipeg, come from Calgary. Pardon me. So we met at a party at a house party, and we had a conversation, and we said, we could do something to be fun covers and punk covers, and that was how it all started.
Yeah, we were. Like Marty says, we met up at a party, and at the time, the Stiff Bishops were going through some personnel changes, and I was kind of looking for another project, possibly a cover band, but doing punk covers, but stuff that was a little bit faster, a little bit more heavier than what the Stiff Bishops were doing. And Marty and I just started talking that evening, and I mentioned, he said, "Well, do you know anybody who's looking for a drummer?" It's basically what he asked me. And I said, "Well, I might have a project that's coming up." And then I pitched the idea to Marty, and he said, "Yeah." And then we were throwing names of bands that I liked and he liked, and we were kind of we were on the same page. So it kind of it stopped at that point. But then about, I want to say maybe 2-3 months after that conversation, the Stiff Bishops broke up. And so it was a perfect time to contact Marty and put the wheels in motion and start what is now the Murder Birds.
Yeah. We had like an original lineup that we ended up having personal changes over the course of a few years, and we had it. Dave, almost 7 years ago, 6 years?
2018,
yeah. So 7 years ago, he replaced our original bassist, Norm, and we've had a couple of different vocalists, similar to Spinal Tap. Instead of the drummer blowing up, to evaporate.
We get that question a lot. What are you guys doing to your lead vocalist? So you keep having to replace them.
Nothing.
Yeah.
What made Brett the right guy?
He paid us a
For
lot of money.
vocalist, sorry, I
It was
keep saying
basically
guys. What made
it
him
was
the right person?
it was a very lucrative deal for the Murder Birds to to bring Brett on. Actually, you know what? We auditioned. I don't know how many did we audition.
19.
19 people.
19. And there's a special auditioner that might be on the show tonight. You can talk about your experience. Ruth, you can
It
talk
was
about your
great.
experience.
How wonderful it was.
Yes.
Yeah, so we had 19 people audition for us, and I mean, we kind of treated it like a job interview almost, where I mean, we scored people. We narrowed, we shortlisted, and in the end, we felt that Brett had the right qualities we were looking for. So far, 2 shows in, I think we made the right choice for sure.
Yep.
Excellent. Ruth, you killed it in your audition, though.
No, I know I did. I know.
No, you did. Once you got the mic closer.
Yeah, once the nerves kind of went away a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
I think it was
good.
pretty good for my first time out.
It was pretty.
Absolutely, it was.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I could tell you had fun. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was important. From our perspective, is that we wanted to make somebody coming in to our environment, it's ours, and make them feel comfortable and hope that they enjoyed it. And seems to be that was the theme. Everyone seemed to enjoy their audition with us. So
Yeah.
Awesome. Brett, have you been with any other bands in your past?
Not for the last, probably getting close to 20, 25 years since the last time I was in a band. I did a lot of jam night sort of stuff. So, house bands and just, playing random jams, go up and play whatever comes to mind, join up with a few other people. So that's kind of where I kind of kept my, my playing going over the last 20 years or so. I mean, as we get older, it gets tougher and tougher to find a group of people who can commit all to the same ideas, but have the time to commit and drive to want to do it all. So, I mean, for me, for a lot of years, it was just easier to do the jam thing because you didn't have to rely on anybody. But I worked with the Manitoba Loud Music Awards since their inception, and Murder Birds graced us with their presence several times with performances and won several awards. So I got pretty acquainted with who they were. And when I saw the posting come up that they were auditioning for singers, I thought, well, hey, that would be fun. I'll give it a shot. The rest is history.
There you go. Thomas Henry's got a question that he's getting way ahead of himself here. What are some of your favorite covers to play?
Oh boy.
we all have.
Yeah, I think we all have our favorites that we do.
What's yours?
Mine? Oh, geez. Put me on the spot. I don't know. I mean, there's some of the songs that we do. Like we do a Bad Religion song off of Strangers in Fiction called "Hooray for Me," and it's not like a super well-known Bad Religion song, but it's really enjoyable to play. And we've been playing it for a few years, and that one I really love playing. And this past weekend, we did Surrender by Cheap Trick. And I love playing that song. It's great. I mean, I'm a big Cheap Trick fan. So, it's not necessarily punk, but we spice it up a bit, right? So, so that's my latest favorite to play. How about you?
Me? I'm going to say there's a few in there, but one of my most favorite to play is the Fugazi Waiting Room. Just love that song. It's like one of the songs from way back that still rocks in my mind. Still has that. And they humor me in Loud that I can choose a Devo song, and so we do Gates of Steel, and that's another one that I just really love. That song. It's a drive for Devo. It's a really power, almost a hard rock song for them, and I just love that. Dave, what's yours?
I'm gonna go with Marty on the Waiting Room by Fugazi. That's a fun one to play as a bass player.
One of our most popular
And
songs.
probably our most requested one. And then, Matt Freeman, we do a bunch of Rancid covers. So Matt Freeman is a fantastic bass player to try and emulate. It's definitely, I'm not getting bored playing it. So anything that keeps me entertained, that keeps my ADHD at bay, I suppose. Doesn't put me to sleep. We always tend to amp up the energy anyway. So, it's good. It's fun and it's exciting. You get to choose one that you like, but then in turn you might play one that is not as fun and exciting. But whatever. I mean, that's always with bands choosing covers. So
yeah.
And what about you?
I would probably. I mean, it's tough because they're all actually really fun songs to play with such a punchy set list. Like there's every song is fun to do. I'd probably have to say I really like Maxwell Murder, also a Rancid tune. Especially when we're practicing because we get to make Dave do the solo over and over and over. No, I can do that part up again, Dave. Start from the solo. I would say Waiting Room's up there. Linoleum's always fun. It's just a classic that everybody. I don't want to say grew up on.
Call it a classic.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like
cool.
The Rancid stuff is always fun to play. Like we actually do an entire Rancid set. We've played it live a couple times, so that's always fun to dust that one off and do that.
Dave, didn't you
awesome.
Recently tell you they played classic punk like Green Day and
yeah. Green Day and Blink-182, classic punk.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of hurts to hear that now, eh?
Yes, it does.
Kind of bounce into your shows. You had 2 shows. You played the Tap House and you played Bulldog Event Center. St. Patrick's. It's kind of a St. Patrick's one. Not on St. Patrick's Day, but 2 days before, right?
When it's on like the Friday and it's the Monday with St. Patrick's Day, and we're like, okay.
Why not?
I was dressed like a leprechaun, so I was fine with it.
Yeah, you guys look great.
Out of the house.
Yeah. Out of the house.
How did those shows go for you?
The Tap House is a really good room. It's like a smaller room, so 100 people really feels huge there. Whereas 100 people at the Bulldog, it feels empty, right? Just kind of like 100 people at the park would feel like
no one's there.
Like a small group of friends. Yeah, it wouldn't. It's a very something to get us to try and play like. Place is full. We're always giving our best, as much energy as we can to, be entertaining and get people involved. So, but both have good qualities for sure. There's lots of good venues.
Yeah,
those 2 we play often.
Yeah, we've played pretty much most of the venues in the city. We've played. Well, we played the Pyramid. We played the Park. We've played the Albert. We've played. What else have we played?
In the West End.
Didn't we do the Handsome?
Have you played the Albert on a Thursday night?
and the
No, we didn't do that. Well, there's no more Thursday night draft nights, but as in previous bands, I have for sure.
And we played the Goodwill when it was around. I remember that.
Yeah,
great venue.
We've got club happenings coming up. We've got some shows out in Brandon coming up.
Yeah. So, yeah, we
excellent.
played
I was going to ask you.
I was just saying. We played
next question would be Brandon.
Summer. Yeah. So yeah, we just I guess we had an opportunity to play Brandon, and that we had never ventured out of the city limits here. So we thought, it's summer, the driving will be great. Let's just do it. Let's have some fun. So it was a fun show. so much fun that we're doing 2 more shows coming up in Brandon. One with the Dayglow Abortions and one with the Ripcords, 2 of our favorite Canadian punk bands, legends, really. So,
and that's probably at the Hall, right?
Yes,
at the Hall,
Yeah.
you bet.
That's a great place. I love that little place.
Yeah, it's pretty cool actually.
Yeah,
if you can find it.
Yeah.
lighting at nighttime.
Yeah, they gotta work on their signage and lighting.
Yeah.
We drove by it a few times until we found it, but no, it's a great venue, and then Brandon needs a punk venue like that. Like the 40 is good, but it's big, right? So something along the size of the Hall is perfect.
Yeah. Are you so you're playing with Ripcords?
Yep.
I believe I saw a post for that. I believe there's a band playing called Last Place as well in that one.
Yeah, I don't know much about those guys.
Oh, they're good. My buddy, one of my hometown closest friends, is part of that band, and we had the privilege of playing with them about a month and a half ago, and yeah, they're good. They rip. They don't stop.
Are they from Manitoba?
Yeah, they're from. I think they claim they're from Forest, Manitoba, so just a little outside Brandon.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they're a great band though. But super cool. You get to open for some legends, right? And yeah, it'll be a great show though.
This will be our second time playing with Dayglow. We played a few years back.
Excellent.
Yeah, that was a Pyramid show. I mean, we've been fortunate enough to play with a lot of larger punk bands. We did a show with SNFU, which was awesome because Chai got up on stage and did New Rose by the Damned with us. That was a thrill. That was so awesome. That was at the Windsor. There's another place we played.
Yeah, the Windsor.
Right?
The lovely Windsor.
We played with Teenage Head. We played with what was that band?
Real Mackenzies. We've
played with. We've got a show coming up with the Anti-Queens and the Venomous Pinks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big show.
And the Soundoff.
The
I believe the Soundoff is on that show as well.
Did you give them permission to use that name?
I was wondering if there was.
You know what? They were. When were they on? They were on here last week, week and a half ago.
Like a week ago, yeah. I think.
Yeah.
They're super cool, but yeah, that was a fun one. They showed up. They showed up on my feed one day, Soundoff, and I'm like, well, they gotta come on the show now.
Telling all about the Soundoff.
It's a must now.
Yeah.
They are so good live. They're awesome.
Good band. Yeah, you guys have got some good shows coming up then.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. We're kind of worried. Like we kind of figured, well, we took some time off, to audition and get Brett up to speed, and then we were kind of going, well, do we have to start from scratch again? But you know what? We just got some really good shows, and we work with some great people out there, and they literally offer us these shows. Like, you guys want to do this? And well, yeah, of course we want to play with Dayglow Abortions. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you don't have to go looking. That's the nice thing. It comes to you when you've put 10 years in and you've built up a reputation and you've won awards and so on. You're fortunate enough that sometimes it's just that easy. They just come to you, but it's not always the case. Sometimes you got to go looking. And we're not always we like playing with local bands too. We just happen to get lucky on some of these out of town acts that come through.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I say, in the chat, he's one of the guys I used to jam with back in the day.
Oh, there you go.
Do you guys have do you have merch out there? I mean, your logo's
we got
cool.
Tons of t-shirts, stickers, pins, things like that.
New shirts coming soon.
Yeah, we got a new run of t-shirts, a new design. I think this will be our 5th design for our t-shirts, I think.
We're on the Punk Canada Volume 5 coming up. That one's
it's 4.
Volume 4, and we do.
Don't tell them. That is surprising.
Oh, you don't want to say?
Don't
Okay.
say. Don't say. You'll have to buy the record to find out what cover we're doing.
And the cover we're doing is.
You almost got some exclusive content.
You'll be on volume 5 as well, though. Just you're probably not wrong.
It'll be the first repeat.
Yeah.
But we work with Paul Gott from the Ripcords on that, and he's great. He's a great guy and great to work with. Kudos to Paul and his effort to really get Canadian punk rock, both old and new bands, just out in the market. It's fantastic.
Awesome.
Paul is pretty much Paul Gott. Sorry, not this Paul.
Paul
Gott's pretty much almost like the godfather of punk in Canada now. I feel like because he just keeps it going, right? He's still got Ripcords going. He's still promoting the crap out of everything.
And he always has his promoter list, national promoter list ready. Puts out once a month, so it just keeps the indie thing going. The whole that's just the most important thing. Is being an older punk is to see going from one generation to the next, to the next, to the next, and that whole DIY ethic and punk rock it's still it hasn't waned. We're talking now almost 50 years of punk rock, and it hasn't waned. It hasn't really gone to the basement. It's always on the public consciousness.
Yeah, and Paul's certainly one person to thank for that. Yeah.
Cool. Do you guys ever go to? I'm sure you do. Other local shows?
Oh God,
Who are some local bands you guys are liking right now?
What's the name of the
Lost Planet Airmen?
I like them a lot.
Yeah, they're
Lost Planet Airmen are my current fave right now.
I like Spectre. I like the hard rock.
Yeah.
I really think those guys are doing a great job. Juice to Orange is doing really kick-ass shows.
Yeah, Juice is good.
Yeah. And
Northern Royals are a pretty good one.
Yeah. And I kind of like this Chernobyl Wolves band I heard about too.
I think they sound good.
Yeah, those are.
Yeah.
Ruth, who are you liking right now?
Me? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Like besides everyone, I finally saw the Soundoff live, and yeah, they were really tight. I really enjoyed their show. Really good energy, good vibe. I also saw Sky Raid for the first time. Like I went to the video shoot and got to see them live, and it was wicked fun. Like everyone just kind of puts their 110% into there, and I just really enjoy.
I'll let the dog out. Sorry to interrupt. Save my spot.
all the awesome local talent. Like I see
For
any
sure.
band, I fall in love instantly. So
I got to actually also compliment the bands that we played with this past weekend, Pulling Pud and Whiskey Ninja. They both put on fantastic
Pulling Pud's fun.
shows.
They're quiet.
Yeah, Pulling Pud was a lot of fun. And Whiskey Ninja, I briefly spoke with the guys. They had just recently kind of thrown the band together. So they had really just thrown a bunch of covers together really quickly. And they said they're working on some more stuff right now, but it was a really well selected list of covers that they did that night.
Yeah. It's a good rock and roll set for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I think they're coming on here in a couple weeks. I don't want to look at my
Cool.
schedule, but anyway, I'm pretty sure they're coming on here. I think the one guy might be part of two bands. I think he might be part of Ticked Off as well.
Oh, that's Chris from Pulling Pud. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's part of Ticked Off. Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably my favorite online personality right now.
Yeah, he's a
Things
character.
he posts and shares is ridiculous.
Yeah. There's always some
I
good
love it.
memes coming from that account. That's for sure.
I don't know if you heard
They're
Paul.
from Portage or something, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Yeah. Paul mentioned we are playing with Ticked Off at our next show on April 4th at Club Happenings, the Drag Me to the Punk show. The one,
yes.
the one that Kayla puts on. Yeah.
Yeah,
Excellent.
That'll be a mixture of punk bands and drag performances. So it's
The band that's headlining seems to be like a jam band, more like a 70s sounding more, I think.
oh, cool.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be a
Cool.
mix. So, yeah.
It'll be fun either way.
for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. You guys have anything you want to say about Paul while he's away?
Oh, he's right here.
Yeah,
Sorry, what was that?
He was taking the.
I bought you guys some beers.
Perfect. Here, I'll have it.
So we kind of talked about it at the start, just the whole punk thing. Who are some kind of been liking this? I've had a couple of punk bands on lately, and it's kind of opening a couple other doors to some things. Who are some big influences on you?
It's funny because it's kind of it's also part and parcel of how we argue about what songs we're doing, because we're all kind of maybe Marty and I are more of the same genre era of punk rock, but Dave is a 90s guy, and Brett I think likes some of the more newer stuff, and I mean Marty and I are more similar as far as the punk era goes. For me, if anyone who knows me, the Clash is number one for me. And but all those British punk bands of that time, the Buzzcocks, the Damned, the Pistols, all those were huge for me. Growing up, and then I liked a lot of the ska. I listened to a lot of ska and reggae too. So, but those bands for sure are influences for me.
for me, it's a lot of the hardcore Canadian hardcore. I got to bands like SNF, No Means No, the Doughboys, just a lot of the 80s Canadian hardcore stuff was, that still resonates huge with me. So
Cool.
How about you, Dave? I'm going to go with Marty. The SNFU and the Doughboys are probably the first couple bands that I saw as a kid, like skate punk kid, and just being like, holy shit, like this is fast. It has so much energy. This is incredible. I need to do this.
yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, I had, people giving me Clash and Ramones records to listen to. And I mean, yeah, I realized that there was more to than the radio rock that I heard, driving around with my parents. And it was a good, that sort of early 90s, late 80s in Winnipeg was a great scene. I mean, there was tons of people flooding in, and there were tons of people that were there and involved, and it was a great community. And you didn't, even though you were whatever, not talented or a bit weird, it all worked, and it was such a big boom for me to be involved in that. I think the first show I played at the Albert was probably in late 89 or early 1990s. So
Cool.
Yeah, and for myself, I grew up a bit more in the early 90s kind of punk. So for me, it was a lot of the No Effects, Face to Face, No Use for a Name, Millencolin, Pennywise, all of those kind of bands there. So I've, over the years, learned to respect all of the older stuff as well. So I definitely have an appreciation for all of it. But that's kind of where my exposure to punk kind of started off, was with bands like that.
Awesome. Marty and Dave, when you mentioned I don't know them very well, the Doughboys, are they the ones that did that Shine, that song called Shine?
Yeah, that's
okay. That's
one of their later albums.
That's a playlist somewhere.
Yeah, that was their radio hit. Home Again was probably the
86 was 87. Sorry, Home Again. That was the big one that sort of broke them through in the indie scene. But from a perspective of people recognizing or seeing that name and connotating it to something, shine is definitely because it had the video, you know, and the big record push and all that fun stuff. But
Yeah.
the Doughboys as an indie band, as a touring act, one of the things that you were impressed with them was you had John Castor coming out of the Asexuals, another Montreal hardcore band, and you know, they're just this energy. Like they as soon as you started that song, it's like this explosion on stage.
Yeah.
They're all moving pieces, jumping and intertwining. It was like it was remarkable trying to figure out who's doing what sometimes because they were all that kinetic energy was just amazing. Splits, jumps, you know, you at that time your hard rock had like Van Halen, where you're focused on the one guy doing all the splits and the jumps and everything like that, and the front man was the major focus because they would be doing all that. Well, imagine you had 4-5 guys doing that simultaneously.
We've kind of modeled the Murder Birds after that.
Seriously though, I mean, that's a good reason I think as to why it's so hard to stand still when we're playing our shows. It's like those are the guys that I watch. It's like I can't just stand there and play guitar and sing. Like you gotta move.
You gotta move.
The energy of that kind of scene, the indie punk rock scene, that it was all about energy, kinetic energy. The audience, the band, everybody fed off each other, and you know, and you just need that. That to me, without energy, you don't have punk rock.
It's kind of a give and take. You know, we as a band try to give off as much energy as we can. You know, by the sound of our music, by the actions on stage. But by the same token, we get our energy off the crowd. So if we can get them going, then they're going to exchange energy with us. So it's a give and take for us. That being said, we could be playing to 5 people and we'll still give it our all. Like we still give her shit. And
Predator.
You know, and yeah, bands like the Doughboys, and I mean, I jump a lot. I always have, and I kind of got that from seeing Chai Pig jump. Like he would just get off the drum kit and jump, and you see pictures of this guy's like 10 feet in the air, like it's unbelievable. And I mean, obviously I can't jump that high, but still, that always is in my mind. Like Chai doing that, and other bands just giving her and jumping and then Dave joined the band, and he's a jumper too. And so we're just and now Brett jumps too. So like now,
when I was auditioning for the band, I was sitting talking with Dag Amont one night. He's the founder of the Manitoba Loud Music Awards.
Hi, Dag.
And I told him, I said, Dag, I'm actually I'm trying out for the Murder Birds as a
Murder Birds. That's the Murder Birds.
Yeah, I'm trying out for them, and the piece of advice he gave me, he said, "Well, you better move around like a fucking maniac because they won't accept anything less than that."
Well, that's a good story, yeah.
Yeah, and it's absolutely true, and that's why, you know, part of what I really liked about the band when I saw them too is the energy, and like I said, in my past, I did a lot of jam night stuff where as fun as that is, I got to play stuff all over the spectrum of music. You don't get a lot of people who are moving around a ton on stage when you're doing that. You know, everyone a lot of times just kind of stands at their post, plays their thing, and if you're the one guy up there going like a maniac, everyone's just kind of going to look at you funny, like you know, maybe cut you off a little early. But, yeah, getting to play with these guys, you know, you can go a little wild and it works with the show. I'm actually learning that I need to increase my stamina though. I did not realize how out of shape I was until around the show, and halfway through you're like, guys, you gotta like talk extra long between songs here so I can catch my breath.
One thing we noticed about Brett when he auditioned, and it was one of the factors that it kind of solidified our decision, was when he came down the first time. He was pretty high energy, but he would take the mic and basically share it with me and Dave. You know how lead vocalists, they'll bring up to the guitar player and they'll sing, and the bass sing along, right? that was cool because no one had done that yet. And our previous vocalist kind of did it, but I always thought it was cool to integrate the other musicians with the lead vocalist in that way throughout the show. And Brett was doing it over an audition. And I'm going, well, this guy's doing this. He's gonna do it for the crowd too, because it's nothing like getting a microphone up to the crowd to sing along, right? And so it for me that was a big selling feature for Brett to have Brett in the band, is that he was willing to do that even on our audition. So he's going to go on stage. He's going to do that, and I think that makes it fun for the audience too.
Absolutely.
To sing along with the Fugazi song or whatever song they know, right? And so yeah, I knew Brett was willing to do that. So
you know who else did that? Steven Tyler, 2002, did that to me during Jaded. And it's like, dude, don't stick your mic in my face during Jaded. I unfortunately had row 2 in the corner of the stage in the catwalk at the old MTS Center. And he walked out and stuck the mic in my face. That's the first time anyone, and the last time anyone has stuck the mic in my face, and that will hopefully be the last time.
Get that out, yeah.
Well, hopefully Brett picks people that want the mic in their face.
Yeah, it's a bit of a surprise when it happens.
And Brett, we said mic
the mic in the face. Dun-dun-dun.
Paul, do you this question is directed right at Paul. Paul, do you have something to do with radio at the university?
I do.
You do.
I do a little show called Revolution Radio on 101.5 UMFM. Yes. I've been doing that since, I want to say 2018. I've got actually next week's show will be a 190th show.
Wow,
and,
good for you.
And it's basically punk, ska, reggae, new wave, rockabilly, Britpop, whatever kind of tickles my fancy. So yeah, I've been doing this for a while now, and it's a lot of work, more work than I thought it was going to be. But
super cool.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun hobby, like I said, it's a lot of work. It takes up some of my weekend, which I'd rather, especially in the summer, be doing anything other than selecting 25 songs for a show. But you know what, it's been building, right? And then more and more people are listening. I get local bands on, I promote local shows, so it's quite rewarding, actually. So Tuesdays from 4 to 5:30 on 101.5 UMFM Revolution Radio, coming live.
Oh, you're really good. Speaking of rewarding, you may have been nominated at the Loud Awards. Is that true, Ruth? There's a chance you may have been nominated for Broadcaster of the Year.
No, could be. You never know.
Well, I don't know. It would be nice. It would be really nice, because I think they changed the categories this year that I'm actually I could receive a nomination, because I think it was just podcast before or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I should be asking this guy. But
yeah, it was previously podcast, but we opened it up to Broadcaster of the Year so that we could allow people that are in the radio industry and all that as well. We didn't want to just limit it to just podcasts. So
yeah, like I know Revolution is definitely sponsoring Winnipeg Punk Fest this year.
Yes,
and I think I'm sponsoring the drag show coming up. I'm pretty sure, but whatever. I just typically, if I make a poster for someone, or if it's for a Murder Bird show, I'll stick my logo on there. And
for sure, right?
Right. So whether I'm asked to promote or not, I try to do it. So
yeah, for sure. I think, do I say it because I'm live right now? I think I may be involved in that punk show too. I think I may have a sponsorship thing, because interviewing
maybe
a
I
bunch of
shouldn't have
bands.
said anything because it hasn't been announced yet. Oops.
Oh no, which punk show are you talking about?
Yeah,
I'm talking about the Winnipeg Punk Fest that Kayla puts on in Taha.
At Side
One
Stage?
in July.
Yeah, is it July or August?
July.
yeah,
July.
side stage.
Oh, that one's
Yes.
already been announced.
Yeah, that's already been promoted. Yeah.
Oh, I know, but I don't know if she's mentioned the sponsors yet. But
Oh,
I mean,
maybe I won't say anything.
I don't.
Let's delete the last 25
Yeah.
seconds.
Can you edit that out?
Yeah. Well, it'd be a great event though. 2 days at Side Stage.
Maybe she wants.
Yeah,
Stumbling
we
distance.
actually played it last year, and yeah, it was in August last year we played it.
Yes, it was
And,
the end of
and
August.
was that Mickey's last show?
It was.
Yeah, so that was our last lead vocalist's last show with us, and we were headlining the second night, and we didn't get on stage till about 1 o'clock in the morning, but it was hot as hell in the Albert.
They didn't have air conditioning, and they have these circular overhead fans, but they didn't turn them on.
Hmm.
And I don't even know if does that place even have air conditioning. I don't know.
They did, but right by the bar. There's one. It's like an air conditioning machine.
So yeah, we all lost about 10 pounds each in water that night because that was crazy. Great show, and Mickey Cott, who was our last vocalist, he just gave her that night, despite the heat and everything. But
Oh yeah, it was like 32 degrees during the day with the humidity making it like in the 40s, and then you have a room full of like 200 plus people crammed into the Albert, which is narrow and whatnot, and I drove it up to the 50s.
and then you got the stage lights on top of that, heating up the
Yeah.
stage. So you can see where this is going, right? So anyways, it's yeah, that was a good gig actually. We're not playing this year, but they're just trying to spread the wealth, right? So
Yep.
other bands can play it. So that's totally cool, and we're looking forward to attending, being there for sure.
Yeah, for sure, right?
Yeah.
Ruth, you got anything to add right now?
Do I have anything to add? Well, speaking of venues, we had some issues with people having to stand around at the Park Theater on some.
Sorry to interrupt you, Ruth. Ruth is part of the Loud Award Committee.
We're
Indeed, yes.
Setting that
we know
straight
the
here.
Loud Awards.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, we're going with a different venue this year, and I'm not at liberty to say which one yet, but it's going to be pretty wicked, and we're all really excited about it. So
It's
Nobody
MTS
said
Center, and they sold it out.
Wonder if Dag would mind. Nerder
Awesome.
birds.
There'd be a job opening pretty quickly.
Oh, the Nerder birds are looking for another vocalist.
Awesome.
Oh.
Well, I hate to. I'm just waiting for.
This is
Your
Ice.
drummer here.
He's the fifth murder bird.
There he is. Is that who's making that noise?
That's her. She's pretty cute, though.
That's going to be the next 20 minutes of your show.
Perfect.
Bring the dog back out. You guys are boring.
Yeah, the ratings went up when the dog came in.
All of a sudden, bring the dog back. Bring the dog back.
Awesome.
Going back to which bands you should pay attention to, I think with Kayla's Punk Fest, I think seeing the lineup for both those nights, that'd be a great place for anyone who wants to see, what local punk rock bands to listen to. Go to those 2 nights.
And speaking of Kayla, shit happens for
Yes,
sure.
yeah.
Mhm.
Definitely. Yeah.
There's another energetic.
Oh,
band.
she's dynamite.
Yeah, giving it everything.
Great to have in the crowd for you too. She always keeps the crowd
Yeah.
going with you. So
Except when she calls you by the wrong name.
Yeah. I'm sorry. She was there on Friday night, and there wasn't a huge crowd, but they're, as I said on stage, they're small but powerful. and the front row was just giving her, and Kayla was really instigating that. It was nice to see. So
Yeah, she's great.
He does a lot. For the scene.
So just in typical fashion, I like to wrap it up by giving you the mic to say whatever you want to say to your fans or friends, family, unless your
thank
friends and
you.
family are also your fans. But before we do,
not
I gotta
necessarily.
leave you with
We wanna
one
thank
question.
everybody.
Who's the most underrated punk band?
Oh,
That's a good one.
That's
Mhm.
hard.
That's a tough one with the knowledge you guys have of these bands. So
Why is that a question? What? Oh, we vote this band as an underrated band, and they'll be like offended because it's like, why do you think we're underrated?
Yeah.
fine, they're overrated.
Trying to be divisive. What's going on here?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I think for going from my era, and you'll have to hear me out because off the top it's probably going to sound crazy. I'm going to say the Bloodhound Gang, and I'm not talking the Bloodhound Gang after they released whatever that Discovery Channel song.
I got you. Yeah.
Before that, listen to the album One Fierce Beer Coaster. That is an album that is solid front to back, and it's actual punk music. It's not like the radio punk like they started doing later in their career. I do appreciate the later stuff, but it's not the same. So that's what I'll go with. Because
How about the Beastie Boys? They started off as a hardcore punk band.
I don't know if they're underrated though.
Yeah.
No, but as a punk band they were, until they started doing rap. Then they made their name. But as a punk band, they weren't.
They knew there wasn't any money or future in it, so
Ah!
sitting on a couch talking to a television. I'm gonna go Canadian. I'm gonna say the Nils.
Oh, good one.
And then for me, I've been trying to get win Paul over with this one for a while. Naked Ray Gun from Chicago.
Yeah, they're
Right.
Yeah, they are.
I don't think enough people listen to them. They, if any of you have read Dave Grohl's new book, he talks about that being one of the first bands he saw that really inspired him. And there's albums by them that they're so good and so solid, but I just don't know that they've made it to the level that people really they need to get to. Yeah.
Do I need to pick one? I actually can I go with the Nils too? The Nils,
Sure.
Nils are huge. They're so good, and the songwriting is par excellence. And I don't know why they just never got as big as they didn't, But who knows? That's a tough question.
Yeah, it is. That's why I ask it.
Good job, Joel.
I like the silence for a few minutes, while everyone thinks.
I see Thomas gave a shout out to Avenue 46. We did a Rancid set, and then Avenue 46 did their Green Day set.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
we played with them a couple times.
Yeah. They're another good
Seem
band
pretty cool.
that seems to be also dividing up and doing some other projects as well. So definitely
Awesome.
some up and comers.
All right, gentlemen, mic is yours. You say what you want to say.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say thank you to everybody that's been following us and comes to our shows and supports us, and we do it for them. We do it for the people that want to come out and party and have fun and hear some of the songs that either form part of their childhood or songs that they've forgotten or heard and things like that. That's why what Paul said is we're trying to choose songs that that are maybe a little bit more obscure sometimes, or that people might recognize as something they'd heard before, or hey, this is pulling it from the way back machine.
I remember this song.
Yeah, stuff like that. So we like to make it a fun night for everybody. That's a big thing. So
for sure, yeah. Like we've been at this for 10 years now, and I mean we've been fortunate enough to play with some big bands, some big names. We've won awards, 4 Manitoba Loud Music Awards. You know, we've done a lot with this little band that was just a quick idea, and but what keeps us going is the fans, the people that come out to the shows, the people who like our posts. They're just the simple things like that. It makes us want to continue on, and because we always said if it stops being fun, well, they're going to pull the plug on this. But we're still here. We're into our 3rd lead singer. We're still want to do it because it is fun, and we love playing to the crowds, and we love our fans, and we can't thank you guys enough. We got maybe I'll let these guys say something.
I would just say if there's anyone out there who's wanting to come check us out, our upcoming shows, we have April 4th at Club Happenings, like we already mentioned. That's the Drag Me to the Punk show. We have Venomous Pinks and
April 26th.
Anti-Queens on the 26th of April.
27th, isn't it? 27th of April, I think, isn't it?
Follow us on Facebook.
Follow us.
Go both nights.
Abortions in Brandon.
May 4th is Dayglow Abortions in Brandon, and the Ripcords is July, anyone? 26th, 27th. And I know of another show that is a possibility, and it's going to be huge if it goes through. I can't say what it is because it's not guaranteed yet.
He hasn't even told us.
I haven't even told the band. Marty might know. Marty might know. But look forward to a show coming to Winnipeg. Whether the Birds will be playing it, we'll see. But yeah, so we got lots of irons in the fire, lots of shows coming up. Please come out and see us. Have some fun.
26th for the one with the Anti-Queens and Venomous.
26th. I was wrong. I didn't do the math. I didn't carry the one. So,
Friends Who Like the Murder Birds on Facebook.
Yeah, we got 2 Facebook pages. We got Friends Who Like the Murder Birds, and then just our Murder Birds page. So yeah, and we're also on Instagram as well.
Yes.
Dave takes care of the Instagram page. So
we also
yeah.
have a Friends Who Like the Murder Birds page that someone started on Facebook.
Yeah,
It was funny that page. None of us started. Someone started that, and he doesn't even remember starting it. If you can believe that, because I was trying to get access rights to changing stuff, and it was her that we created it. But I asked her, so can you grant me some, access to it? What page? I created a page. So
Unreal.
It's our most popular Facebook page, so
Yeah.
no one can access it. No, I'm kidding.
Amazing.
We did get access.
Awesome.
Slowly, hang on.
we're thinking.
You know what? I've been looking at my computer. I'm like, what happened? You know what? It got a bit darker for a second. And I'm like, why is the screen darker? But it just went up. Yeah.
All you'll see is the top of our head.
Oh, now we see all the beer. Okay.
Yeah.
This is an old laptop. This is terrible.
There you are. Awesome. Well, it's been great chatting with you guys.
Oh, thank
You've
you.
entered the longest
thank
show of March. Congratulations.
Isn't that the first show of March? Oh, you did something last week.
Yeah.
It's just the hands. It's just like,
Yeah.
Here, I'll join.
That's perfect.
There you go. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, you know what? We'll get people out there following your page if they don't already. It was good chatting with you. I'll let you go before you fade into the horizon here.
Yeah.
well, thanks a lot, gang. Thanks for everyone who listened in. We'll see you at the next show.
Exactly. Thanks, guys.
Have a great night.
Bye, Ruth.